Huddle podcast with Pastor Short T.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Drop that.
Yo, what is up, family? Welcome to another episode of Break the Huddle podcast with your guy, your uncle, your OG, Pastor Short T. And we are ready to have a great time. But you know, this is the podcast for the Christian student athlete to give their testimony, to encourage and empower others. We bring in guests that are going to do exactly that. And we are going to go on and get into it this week. I got a few things jumping right here, so we're going to get into the quote of the week. Life throws you many curveballs, but if you don't swing, you're not going to hit any. Let me say that one more time. Life throws you many curveballs, but if you don't swing, you are not going to hit any. Now, I'm going to hit you with the scripture of the week, Jeremiah 29, verse 11. Very familiar to most of us. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. That's Jeremiah 29, 11. One more time. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. And there we go. That's how we're going to jump this thing off. Our subject this week is unexpected change. Unexpected change. And right now, my guest is having some difficulties with his internet and everything, but we're going to get him logged in here shortly. Oh, he's on here? Oh, let me go on and introduce my guy. Hey, he is getting ready to be a graduate of Hope Christian Academy, where he plays baseball and basketball, class of 2025. He is committed recently to Gaston State Community College, and he was able to get on. So I'm going to bring on my guy, another one of my nephews, and he's doing this thing for Jesus. Give it up for Eli Bozeman. Man, I didn't think you were going to make it.
I pulled up just in time.
Hey, you good, man. You good. We're going to make it work one way or the other. Hey, we live, but we just go with what we go with. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So how you feeling?
Just feel like $1 million.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, man. Well, you know, since you're on here, you got to give your shout outs. Hey, mom and dad, say their name and everything. And then anybody else, family, friends, your church, go on and do that. Hold on 1 minute. Hey, 1 minute. He's our producer's making some adjustments here, so just hold 1 minute. Hold 1 minute. But we are gonna have a great subject matter tonight. It's gonna be awesome. We are gonna hit this thing running once we get the technical difficulties. This thing is live, as we said. So we got a few things that we're aligning here, so to speak. But all is well. We're gonna get it though. The reason, for those who don't know, Eli was on very early in the Break the Huddle podcast. He was one of my guests. And with him being one of the guests at that point in time, you know, his testimony was phenomenal then. But once you hear this, you're really gonna be touched, and you're gonna like, okay. And you're gonna hear some things about scholarships that are going to be a little bit different than you naturally heard, you know. It's going to be a little bit different. Okay, we good now. We good. We got you on. He got you squared away. So we'll keep him on the payroll. All right, Eli, as I was saying, God will give you shout outs, mama and them, daddy, and church, baseball team, schoolmates, whatever you want to do. Go ahead and do that.
All right, shout out to my mom, my dad, Leah, Micah Bozeman, my siblings, Dalen and Kanan Bozeman, and then got my coaches over there at Hope, Coach Robbie and Coach Burns, Coach Pledge, Coach Strick, Coach Slick, all of them. And shout out to my pastor and his wife, Charlotte and Danny Waddell.
Man, you ran them down, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. I got a chance to chop it up with your coach this past Sunday. Got a chance to talk to him because he was over there watching RJ play.
Okay.
We played Northwest Show, so I got a chance to chop it up with him, man. All right, I'm going to hit you with the rapid fire right quick, and then we're going to get into it, man. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Ready.
All right. Are you a Marvel or a DC guy?
Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah,
Favorite
100%.
character?
Um, I might have to say Captain America.
Okay. Hey, that
Big
that's
leadership
that's
guy.
yeah, that's been a going theme, I believe here. Uh,
Yeah.
favorite home cooked meal?
Mm,
Don't make
boy.
mama mad.
Yeah. I like me some my mom makes some French fried onion chicken with some asparagus she puts in the air fryer. It's probably like the best thing I've ever had.
Oh, man, that you don't hit me with something different now, man. I got a lot of houses I gotta go to. Okay. Favorite video game?
uh I'm not really a big video game guy.
Okay.
I guess probably if I had to pick anything, it'd probably just be the show.
Okay. Got you. All right, now I'm hitting you this. Favorite athlete? It could be
Favorite.
retired. Yeah, could be retired. Whichever one you prefer.
Um, I like this guy for different reasons. He's just a very knowledgeable guy, and I really try to pick up a lot of him. It's Trevor Bauer,
Oh yeah, yeah.
real knowledgeable guy, very smart pitcher. And he's big on the mental side of the game.
Yeah, that is big. That's big in baseball. And
Yes,
okay. Favorite book of the Bible that you like to study?
I like Proverbs.
Oh, got to get you some wisdom.
Yes, sir. It's
Got
all
to
about
get you
wisdom.
some wisdom, man. Got to get you some wisdom. All right, man. We're gonna get into this thing, man, and I'm excited to have you on. We're gonna have to bring people up to speed on your journey, man. Let's start with you being at Oxford High School, where
Yes,
you're
sir.
you're a top notch pitcher, and then you committed to Jacksonville
Mhm.
State University here in the state of Alabama. You committed, but then you made a decision to transfer to Hope Christian Academy. Let's talk
Yes, sir.
about that. Let's talk about that process.
So, as I mentioned last time, there was some stuff that came up, and it just so happened that my travel ball coach, he took a position at a second year private school here in Oxford, and I've always played real well under him and his brother. Just they hold their players to a high standard, and that's just always been an environment that I've been successful in. So we went and toured the school probably midway through July, real close to making a decision time, and I just walking through the hallways with the principal and the assistant principal. They happened to be the guys to tour me, and just loving folks who were they were outgoing, they were very very welcoming, and just to walk the halls and like you just felt different about the place. There was a certain spirit about it. It was just like family.
And so you made the transition.
I
Now
did.
you're already committed to Jacksonville State University.
Yes,
Everything's
sir.
everything's on lock. All right, you're going
Mhm.
through your process and everything. So what happened in the midst of your commitment, especially in your senior year? Let's talk about what happened.
Yeah. So I was probably about a week and a half away from my signing date, and I just got a text one night. I was like, "Hey, man," from the recruiting coordinator at JSU. He was like, "Hey, man, can you give me a call in the morning?" I was like, "Sure thing." It wasn't exactly what I expected. He called me. He was like, "Hey, man, there's a new rule in NCAA. They're cutting down roster sizes, and they weren't able to sign a lot of guys. So he hit me with the news, and he was just like, I advise you to start looking for different opportunities to go play somewhere else. And they were amazing about it. They said, if you need any help finding a place to play, we got connections, and we are more than happy to reach out to different colleges for you. So there was no hard feelings there. It was just a thing that came up that they couldn't really control anything about it. It was just what it had to be done.
And this is unfortunately this is part of NIL, transfer portal. It's all
Yes.
a part of that's going down to our JUCOs now. And here you are, you're in this situation, senior year, but at least they contacted you early and didn't wait till now,
Right, right,
because that will really be tough right now. Even though I've seen people come out of it, but to be in this situation at that point, at least you had time to make connections, to put film back out there, and be able to get to where, try to get somewhere.
right. Yes.
So, what was your, after you get this word? What was your thoughts? Wasn't the information you wanted to hear? What was your thoughts on next move?
Well, initially, I mean, I was discouraged. It was kind of because like a week away from signing, you just got a totally different feel about what you think is about to happen, and then boom, it just hit me, and I was upset, and it was tough. It was a tough thing to hear, um, but first thing I did, I got on the phone with my dad, and he was like, "Well, dude, I'm just gonna let you know now. I mean, this stuff happens all the time. It ain't just you.
Hmm.
Um, and you're gonna play college baseball. He was just really assuring me about that situation, and it's been a dream of mine since I was old enough to hold a baseball that I was gonna play college baseball. So to hear him say that, and especially coming from that that source in my life, my father, it was very reassuring and encouraging. So I was like, okay, well, now it's just time to go to work, you know.
Man, I love that, because whether people want to admit it or not, to have a dad or a male figure speak into your life,
Hmm.
that just gives you that fire that, oh, I'll run through a wall right now. And
Yes, it's
most
everything.
people, yeah, that's big, man. Yeah, mom is gonna pray for you. Yeah, we know that. But when dad says it with authority, it's like, oh, you gonna do this? We good.
Yeah,
So after that, you go to work, and I got a chance to see you play basketball, man. I did get a chance
yeah,
to see you play basketball, uh, and I want to put this out there. He could actually hoop for real. He could hoop. If you really put some work in, you could be a hooper. Hey, I was shocked. If you put some work in, you could be a hooper, man. I just want to put that out there.
yeah.
Hey, but yeah, I got a chance to see you. So you're doing basketball, and I assume you're working on baseball in between time.
A little bit, yes, sir.
Yeah. So now we're going through the process, recruiting and everything. Uh, how were you going about it? What, coaches that got on the line, whatever. I know my son even told the assistant coach at Lawson. He told him about you, so they had you on their radar. So what was the process that you were dealing with in that during that time? Just putting your information out there.
Well, about time baseball season rolled around, had a conversation with my head coach, Coach Robbie Brooks, and I was like, Coach, what's the plan? What we're gonna do? Because I was prepared. I was ready to play. Um, and he's like, don't worry about it, champ. He said you're gonna play college baseball, and I'll take care of you. So I just made sure I went out and I competed to the best of my ability, and did everything I could to give myself a chance.
Hmm.
And everything else that I couldn't control, I gave it to God. Let him do His thing. Um, but as far as I think I only let out maybe one little highlight reel that I could get together because we had a lot of trouble getting some film together with technical difficulties on our Huddle camera. So I got a little bit of video out there, and got about three or four. I got three or four college coaches contact me, and I mean, for the most part, it was pretty quiet.
Okay. So nobody was beating down your door.
Not really.
Okay. My question is this: even with the small things, the small colleges or the three or four, did you just sit down and say, God, I thank you for that?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I mean, any opportunity is a great opportunity, and like a lot of people don't realize it. I was actually on the coach. I was on the line with a college coach Friday before I made my commitment, and I was with my assistant coach, who's my principal at Hope, and he wanted me to come play for him, and I prayed about it and talked to family about it, and I was like, Gadsden State is my home. Like I know this is where I want to be. This is where I'm going to succeed. I just had a peaceful feeling about it, and I got off the phone with him and it went good. He was like, you know what, you got my phone number. If you ever need anything, you shoot me a text, call me, whatever. But I looked over at my coach and he was like, dude, you just got to turn down a scholarship offer. Like you don't realize, like that's an opportunity. Everything's an opportunity, and it was just like, wow, it really opened my eyes. But like, I mean, be grateful for any kind of offer you get, because playing baseball at the next level is a blessing, and it's not something that many kids get to do.
You telling 100% facts right there, and most people don't understand, even in football or basketball, the percentages that play on the next level. Most people
Yeah.
don't realize it's slim, and I remember an old man told me this. We're at the baseball park, and I think we were playing at the Hoover Met, and he asked about my son. And I said, well, I think my son was a sophomore, and he had a few interests, and he said, well, if he gets any offers, that's good. And I was like,
Right.
wow. And then, as we start going through the process, I get it now. it
100%. Yeah.
it doesn't matter, and a lot of times it doesn't matter if you putting up great numbers. Sometimes it's just about positioning, being what they look for. It's so many different things that people fail to understand. And I know people are shocked at what happened to you, that your scholarship, your commitment, it got pulled.
Right.
And that's the side of the business nobody talks about. It actually got pulled. This man is about a week and a half out, ready to sign, and it got pulled. This is the reality we want parents and friends and even your peers to hear, that side of it. And you're a high level pitcher. It ain't like you're throwing 80 or nothing, So here we are. Now you're committed to Gadsden State Community College, which is a great route. Going JUCO, because you get plenty of time, plenty of time to play, and then you get utilized. You're not sitting on the bench.
Right. Right.
So I look at that as a great thing, and most people are closing the doors on JUCO. They better open them back up real quick because
Really quick.
it because it's hard for a high schooler to go to a 4-year and get that opportunity.
Right.
Man, so Eli, here you are. You committed to Gadsden State. You know that's the place for you to develop and everything. So, uh, do you plan on playing summer ball or anything like that?
I haven't got that far yet. I just turned in some paperwork and I'm looking to get my letter of intent here soon. And I'll be reaching out to my coach here and whenever I get that, like, hey, what's the plan for this summer? What we gonna do?
Gotcha.
We haven't really discussed much because this is a fresh commitment. I think it was 3 days ago.
Oh, wow. Man, I caught you at the
Yeah.
right time then.
Yeah.
I caught you at the right time. Do you plan on maybe hitting the mission field or anything coming up? You got that on the list?
Not particularly, no, sir.
Okay. Hey, I know a lot of people try to hit the mission field during the summer, so I had to put that out there, man, for sure. So let me ask you this: you're getting ready to cross the stage, uh, and how did the school year go this year? Just being in that environment of the Christian school environment, how did that go?
You can't compare it to any kind of public school or anything. Obviously it's a totally different environment. You're looking at max probably 18 kids in a classroom, and that's a whole grade. That's a whole class that will graduate together. But I'll tell you what, the growth at Hope Christian Academy this past year was unbelievable, and they have applications rolling in every day. But specifically on the environment, is everybody knows everybody has a relationship with everybody. Me personally, I got a lot of time to work with the young kids, like we're talking sixth grade and down. I got a lot of time to spend with them, and like people don't realize how much young kids look up to older students, especially athletes. There's just something about athletes that attract that younger crowd like crazy. So it just really opened my eyes to the importance of how you conduct yourself, um, and around others, but even not around others, because people see the truth about they see your heart whenever you socialize with them, whenever you interact with them, and you want to be somebody who draws them closer just by how you act or how you approach them. You want to be somebody that draws them closer to God. Um, and it was amazing, and it actually changed my career path. I originally planned to go be a physical therapist, and now I'm looking to be an educator and a coach. So a lot of things were revealed to me whenever I moved there. It was pretty
Wow.
awesome.
I love that, man. That's so dope right there. Now,
Yeah.
so now, I use that all the time. When I speak, especially to athletes, and I tell them all the time. And one time, even had a pastor debate about it. I said, look at your most influential people. There's two markets, and I said, I'm sorry, it's not you. I told the pastor that. I said, sorry, it's not you. It's not the big pastor. I said, it's athletes and entertainers. And he was like, I disagree. I said, you can disagree all you want. I said, when LeBron James speaks, they listen. When Tom Brady speaks, they listen. And he was,
100%.
and I said, hey, I said, I'm just giving you the reality. And he was like, wow. I said, so if we got athletes like you guys that are being bold and living this life for Jesus, we got influence on them too. That's
Mhm.
the way I see it. You done seen it yourself. You dealing with the younger kids, they looking at you like you in the MLB right now. That's the way they
Right.
look at
Yeah.
that's the way they look
Yeah.
at you. So you're making an impact on them, and you going there instilling Jesus in them, saying, "Hey, I live this for Jesus. I do it for his glory." All of a sudden, they're like, "Wow, Eli does that. That's a good reason for me to learn about this man." I see it. And now I
Right.
even got rappers now that I used to go to their youth group. Now they living for the Lord, and they say, "Man, I do this just because you came to my church. You came to an outreach." So it happens. So you don't know who you're impacting for the kingdom, Eli,
All right. Yeah.
and you'll be able to do the same thing coaching. You'll be able to do
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
same thing, encompass all that in that you've learned to share with others. All right,
Mhm.
Eli. Now you you uh, you just gave me the environment is a huge difference right there. So I
Mhm.
know from public school to that is a big difference. So do you still hang out with your friends that go to Oxford and get with them? Do you see them sometimes? And I know they see how you walk and everything. So how's that reaction?
Um, it's kind of quiet during baseball season because everybody's busy. But like anytime I see any of them, I'll always stop and speak. There were no hard feelings between anybody. Whenever I left, I had good relationships with a lot of my teammates, and I was close to a lot of them. I still am. Um, so yeah, there was. I still kept in touch with a good bit of them, and even non-athletes that were at Oxford. If I ever see them, I mean, I speak to them, and they speak to me, and it's not just like I was still going there.
Got you. All right, I gotta hit you with this. Your journey that you've been on, the ups and downs, highs and lows, injuries, and all that. Uh, what do you think you learned out of all of it?
There was so much to learn from it. I'd say the biggest thing is to control what you can control. You control your actions, you control your thoughts, and you control your heart. You control the work that you put in. You control your response. You control how you choose to use that situation. Like right now, being on this podcast is choosing to use this event that I thought originally was just kind of it was a letdown, and now it's being used as something that can lead others to follow the same path.
Yes.
And there's a movie. It's called Where the Red Fern Grows. It's old as dirt. A lot of kids my age probably have never even heard of it, but a message in that movie. This kid really wanted a pair of hunting dogs, and he just wondered, why can't I have these dogs? And his granddad tells him, he said, You can have them, but you have to meet God halfway. You have to do your share. You have to put in the work, and that's what you can control. What you can't control, leave it to Him and trust it to Him, and He will provide. So that was kind of the big takeaway of that whole situation.
Wow. Great revelation, man. That's a great revelation right there. So you realize this thing is bigger than me.
Yeah, it
And
was.
and then you find out it's bigger than baseball too.
Right. And it's also, once that door closed, 3 or 4 months later, I had 3 or 4 more doors open. So, just because one door shuts, you don't lose hope in that. You just keep trusting and you keep doing what you can do.
Man, that's the reason Scripture teaches us to lean not to our own understanding and to trust Him.
Right.
And
Right.
and that's what you did, man. Uh, one more time, I want you to just speak to the folk, man, that might be wanting to play on the next level, might even have their scholarship pulled, or might just be in a situation they don't know what to do. Give them some words of encouragement about the Lord, man.
You just control what you can control. Really, I couldn't say that. I couldn't say it enough. And you hear it from coaches all over the place. And I'm sure anybody who's played for a good coach has heard that before. Control what you can control. And entrust what you can't control to the Lord, and He will establish your steps. He will put you in the right places at the right times, and good things will come of it.
Man, enough said, man. And if that blessed you and touched you, man, and you're like, hey, we need prayer, make sure you hit us on BGTV Studios at info@bgtvstudios.com, man, so we can encourage you and pray for you in your situation. But put the giving tools on the screen. You can give at bgtvstudios.com. Also, you can give by text 84321. And man, we have had a fire time tonight with my guy Eli Bozeman. And remember, this is the Break the Huddle podcast with your host, Pastor Short T. And remember this, we are unashamed. We breaking chains in Jesus' name. That's how we get down. And we will see y'all next time. We are out of here.